And Sean Diddy Combs' legal troubles continue to mount now that a fourth woman has come forward accusing the music mogul of rape and sex trafficking. So Combs denying the allegations and released a statement saying this: "Enough is enough." He goes on to say, "For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy."
The statement goes on to say the allegations against him are sickening and motivated by someone looking for a quick payday. Now, he denies the allegations and says he's going to fight for his name, his family, and the truth. So the latest allegations go back 20 years and don't only involve Combs, who now goes by the name Love, but also one of his business partners. Attorney Simone Redwine has been following these lawsuits very closely and joins us this morning to break down what sets this one apart from all the rest. So good morning, Simone, and thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Okay, so first of all, so this lawsuit, it wasn't filed under the Adult Survivors Act, right? So like the others,
right.
It hasn't the statute of limitations run out on these charges, or
no,
not?
This one was filed under the Gender Motivated Crimes Act, and because the plaintiff here was a minor, the statute for her actually doesn't run out until 2025.
Oh, okay.
So the lawsuit also contains a trigger warning, right? So you read through that document very
Yes.
carefully yesterday without offending any of our viewers this morning. It is early morning. What are Combs and the other defendants really accused of doing here?
They are accused of sexually assaulting her and trafficking her. She was an 11th grader. She was 17 at the time, living in Detroit. And the claim is that Diddy and his team were in Detroit because they had a special relationship, allegedly, with the Black Mafia family, which is actually a family that has a television show right now that is on Stars, produced by 50 Cent, that they were in Detroit, that they met this 11th grader out at a nightclub, that they then flew her on the private jet back to New York. And it was in New York, in Diddy's studio, where they sexually assaulted her and then trafficked her back to Detroit.
Wow, so disturbing, those allegations. So
Yes.
Diddy and Bad Boy business executive Harvey Pierre, they're both
Right.
named in that lawsuit. But then there's another defendant in this lawsuit as well. But why isn't he named?
Great question. So there's a third defendant. Now, usually, if you don't know the name, you simply refer to them as a John Doe.
Okay.
That was done in the prior lawsuit against that Cassie filed. Here, specifically, they call it a third assailant, and there's a footnote that states they know exactly who it is. So the assumption and the implication is that this person is a major player with major pockets. And specifically, the petition states that they are willing to allow this person to remain anonymous until it gets to the discovery stage, implying that if the case is not settled or resolved beforehand, that this guy could lose everything because his identity will become public after that point, and potentially he could lose millions, he could lose brands, he could lose his family. Everything is at stake. So
Wow.
That was really fascinating.
Oh, I thought maybe he cut a
never seen it.
deal. I thought maybe he cut a deal so maybe he would testify
Yeah.
in the trial if there was one.
No, it's the opposite. The implication there is if you do cut a deal, we'll keep you private and never tell anyone.
Okay.
But if you don't, in other words, if we have to keep going and we don't settle this case before discovery, which usually occurs in around 90 days, then your identity will be revealed.
Okay, so does it mean anything when you look at this that the latest victim is also represented by the same law firm that represented Cassie?
Well, it's certainly an advantage to that plaintiff, because what that means there is not only does her team have all of the knowledge and know-how of how Cassie received her settlement, but they also know those facts. They're going to know the insurance policy limits because they're suing the same entity regarding Diddy. And so that plaintiff is definitely at a substantial advantage.
So a lot of his partnerships, they've already cut ties with Diddy, right? So
Correct.
Can you explain, though, why these lawsuits are really putting his whole empire at risk? I mean, he could potentially lose everything.
Correct. Here in this lawsuit, they sued not just Bad Boy, but Bad Boy Holdings. So that means any company or entity that's underneath there, Sean John, I'm not sure that Revolt is in there, but if Revolt is one of them, all of those potentially could be at stake. But because Diddy is both a director and CEO and an owner, it triggers the directors and owners liability policies, among any others. And so once one big payout is done, and we know that was done to resolve the Cassie lawsuit, what happens is insurance companies will say, you are too dangerous. We're not going to renew the policy as long as you are a director or an officer. And because you cannot operate a corporation without insurance, that is why he is likely having to step down.
All very interesting. We'll see how all of this plays out in the roads ahead.
Yeah.
So Simone Redwine, thank you for being here for your legal insight with us on this matter.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.